Welcome back. 8:40, 20 minutes ahead of 9 o'clock. The majority of Americans do not have a will. If you're one of those who's been putting it off, well, this month is for you. August is Make a Will Month, but you better hurry, right? August is, 20 days old, 19 days old. And local financial professional Patrick Sandner from Landing Financial Group is here this morning to explain who needs a will and the steps to help you get started. So good morning, Patrick. Good to see you.
Good morning.
Man, some people hear a will. I don't really need a will. I can do without it. I'll do it tomorrow. Who needs a will?
Anybody who has any type of a possession that they like to transfer to somebody else, whether it be a house, a car, furniture, money. I think anybody who has children, it's an absolute must. You want to go through and have direction of what you'd like to have done with your children if something happens. And this might be a time that if there's somebody you don't want in your children's life, or somebody you don't want to receive something, to go through and have that in writing so that those who are following your will understand exactly what your direction is when you're gone.
All right. Is there a particular age where you should be doing this? I mean, like if you're married at 21, yes. But I mean, if you're a single guy, 30 years old, is it that important?
Only if you have a possession that you want to go to somebody else, because if you don't have that, a court is going to decide for you.
All right, let's talk about the benefits of having a will.
Yeah, so if you have the will and it's very directive, then you could avoid possibly probate. You can avoid all the court costs and the attorneys trying to figure out what to do with your possessions and how to actually transfer us, because a lot of people are going to probably argue and fight over that.
Okay, probate. A lot of people hear that term, but what does that mean?
Probate means that if the court or the judge cannot figure out exactly the way that you wanted your items to go or your children to go, then they're going to make a decision for you. And they've taken all this facts and consideration, which means a lot of legal work to go through and figure out who is getting what. And individuals will usually step up and say, hey, I want that, I want this.
Right.
And the judge has to make sure that that is the correct direction for those items to go.
Sometimes you get shortchanged, so it's better to have it all spelled out. And
Absolutely.
Blah, blah, blah. All right, so how do we get started?
You can go to our website, landinggroup.com, and there's a worksheet there that you can start to compile your different belongings. And what you do is sit down with an attorney and just verbally start letting them know what you have and what you'd like to have done. They'll construct a legal document that's going to be able to be written and read on your behalf if something ends up happening.
All right, now if you take the easy way out, can you just write it out in longhand and say, you know, I, John 𝗲𝗏𝗏, do declare, blah, blah, blah?
You know, you can, but that could be contested very easily. So I'd really recommend going through and getting together with a professional and putting it together. There are people who do it on the internet. They've done it when they've lived in other states and they possibly move here, and it might not be the same in this state. So I really would see a professional. The cost is not that great for the amount of money and effort it'll save in the end.
All right, and you may change it around a few times in your lifetime, depending on circumstances.
And they should be reviewed like every 5 years or so.
Okay.
You know, and it's very important too, as you're changing things and looking at things, make sure that your beneficiaries are still who you want. Make sure whoever your executor is who you want to have.
All
and
right.
I say pick several executors, put them in a row. So if one
Let's
can't
talk
do it,
about that. Yeah, exactly. So
Right.
you do need to, it's not over just because you say, okay, I've got my will done. You need to pick out somebody that's going to oversee your property.
Correct. And you want to make sure that person not only is somebody that is trustworthy and is okay with you, but that can actually interpret the will the way that you want it interpreted. Okay, so once it's written, go over it with them, ask them to go through and be in that position for you. And it doesn't matter where they are. I hear a lot of times people say, well, my son really would be great, but he's in California. It doesn't matter where they are.
Okay. Good to know. Get that will, get going on. All right. Thank you so much, Patrick.
Thanks.
We'll see you next time.